What is happening? Ladies and gentlemen, Hog Mountain, hanging out, getting a minute away from the team to do some work. And I wanted to do something I've never done before. These are my hands. That's a lighter. This is my favorite thing on the planet. Red wine and Dr. Pepper. Yep, I said it. I've been drinking it for decades. I spent 12 years as a wine salesman and drank a lot of South African wine. That was a trick they had down there. But what's neat about that is you can compare your ideas to what the people have in other cultures and you see something crazy. So while we're looking at this tiny knife right here, let's go ahead and do some other comparing. Because it's Krampus time again, we're getting some sponsorship stuff. And I want to kind of look at, whoa, not enough room. I want to look at some stuff that I make and some stuff that I'm getting as a sponsor and kind of see what the deal is. Is there comparative, not so much contrast, but just let's see what's out there, man. You know, I work with a super secret blade consultant that helped me get to where I am today with regional designs from specific origins for specific reasons. And there's other guys like Vulpes and Tack here that do things kind of their own way. And I like to see the similarities and the differences. Right here, we're looking at two different Sansibars. Now mine a little bit longer. Sorry, genetics. But also look at the handle work on the Tack knife. It's some kind of crazy rubber. They won't tell me what it is. And it's mounted on a good heavy base. You can see that there's something underneath it there. And I have no idea where that thing goes. It kind of just disappears in the handle, where Dr. Caveman here still makes knots on his blades. I like the big bevel that they have on their blade, and that they're using a very similar but not the same material as I am. It's still part of the HD PET family. And you can see Tack. Hey, all right. But pretty groovy. We might get a chance to swing these things around on vid. But, you know, I like the grip. I mean, it's a nice, easy piece. I do like the forward-facing edge on it, how it leans down into the cut. A lot of my Cebuano blades and stuff like that I picked up back in the old days had that same thing going for them. So I really, really like that. Here, Hog Mountain, too big for frame. Hog Mountain Sansi, 30 inches long. I could measure out Johnny's real quick. About 28 on the other one, on the Tack knife. That's total length. This one a little over 30, right about there, about. Hey, yep, right at 30. So with that, I'm using old school cord wrap, and as I mentioned earlier, I do knot them. I don't know how to hide that stuff. I'm a knucklehead. So, but I also mount my my 550 cord on a solid base underneath it, so the cord doesn't slide as you're going crazy in there. And I do bevel mine. That was something my blade consultant was really big on. And after some years of some customers asking for it, I finally broke and did it. So if you've got an old Hog Mountain, it'll be rounded here on the edge. But again, HD PET and great swinging blades. I like the feel of that rubber grip. Really the first time I've ever played with it. You just saw me take it out of the bag. So this is kind of a nice thing for me. And if you come to Krampus, you're going to see both of these guys. This one in my bag and this one on the giveaway table. But one of the stipulations I got from Tack was, let the guys play with it, Chris. So if you come, you'll be able to spar with that thing. And no one will be the wiser because everybody will know. And it's part of the deal. It's what they gave them to me for. All right. This is one I've been thinking about for a long time. I have had my eye on this crazy looking thing since they started putting them on my Facebook and Instagram some years ago, probably 50. This is a plexiglass or a, oh my gosh, what do they call that stuff? I'll think about it in a minute. You can tell what kind of a scientist I turned out to be. But this mat, it's a really cool story. If you get a chance to talk to John Stanley from Tack, he'll tell you this cool story about how he got this grip material. And it's a rubber, but it's not super squishy. It's got a little give to it. I got away from foam a couple years ago because I found that I was pumping my hand while I was sparring. And this thing right here was blowing up and I was just getting pooped out fast. But with this plexiglass that we're using here, I mean, gosh, his lines are so clean. John's a scientist and an engineer. I mean, that's really all it boils down to. I'm a knucklehead here in this hot, sweaty garage. This man, like, stands on top of sheets of foam and jams them into a CNC machine. He's got a full staff, stuff like that. I'm digging just digging the Ginuntinig. Like I say, it's Caven's coming in longer. Don't let it, ain't gonna last. But just by about 1.5 inches, something like that. They're probably, I think mine are 26. Oh, good memory. And his is ringing in about 24. So nothing to it. Nothing to it at all. Very, very compatible. Traditional. I'm going to say, I don't want to say Prado style, but it's kind of got that feel to it to me. Mine also with the horse head. I keep the hand guard on mine unless you want it taken off. But I really like that. This is something that I can train with my guys without a glove on and stuff like that, and go a little harder with them and do a little light sparring and stuff like that without the protective gear with the hand guard. But man, I am just falling in love with the Plexi thing. It's a little thinner overall. But hey man, as far as like balance goes, the weight is surely back here on the handle. So it's got a lot of good movement to it. Super, super excited about that. We're going to jump into another little group here. I'm going to start with my bragging about Knife or Death. This is the knife that Migo Willemsen and I made for Knife or Death. It came in just a shade under 10 inches, so they almost didn't let me run the course. This here, you may notice a little difference in handle, a little difference in thickness. This is your Vulpes Bowie knife. I am kind of a big fan of this thing. I like the grip on it. It's about the same size as mine, maybe just a pinch larger. He would have made the 10-inch cut, I guess. But with the hand guard and whatnot, it's got good balance. It's a good thick piece. So if you're a slapper or anything like that, you've got a lot to work with there. And then, as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, Chris is just, you know, he's an artist, man. He does really nice stuff. You can see that bevel line right there where he's a sander. This guy goes through his abrasives. So me, old school, traditional handle. Mine are all junky. The ones I'm showing you out of this thing today, except for that Sansibar, they're all beat. They're just shot. I try my best to break everything I get my hands on. You will be able to spar with this as well at the Krampus. And then the last one, it's not apples to apples. It's more of just like, well, I can't really find anything to fit it. So let's see if I can put it next to one of mine. So this is, if I'm not mistaken, the Lacan Bolo that Chris makes. He sent me 2 of them, and man, I just forgot. I like this thing. The weight on it is pretty studly. You can look at this. Where is it? There's some texturing in here. It gets a little wider here. Goes down to the false edge like that. You see his little bevel line right there. Very smooth, clean grind from Chris. His little drum. He's taking this thing and getting this grippy stuff going on. It's got enough room. If you like gloves, you can get your hand in there. You can see there's about a 1/2 inch of extra groove there for that. It's got a nice little counterweight to it. So it's pretty studly. These things do hit hard. I'll tell you what, I've sparred one of my guys who's got a bunch of Chris's blades. And when we spar with them, man, they'll put a knot on you for sure because they definitely have some weight to them. This here, old school Itak, you see I've just been pounding this thing out for about 2 years. What the hell happened to my handle work? Goodness gracious. But I also drew on it. I drew the drawings. I don't know which way this thing is. It says Philippines, something like that. It matches all my old trench knife stuff that I've got, my trench art blades that I've got hanging on the wall around here and stuff like that. So this is really neat. So like kind of bolo to bolo. I got a Ginuntinig to Ginuntinig, a Sansibar, bolo, or Bowie. So yeah, man, these are things that you're going to see when you show up at Krampus. And hopefully you do, because most of these things, the good ones at least, the smooth ones, are going to be on the raffle table for you guys. All right? 2 thumbs up. Peace and hair grease. Have a great Saturday. Bye-bye. Sorry about the long video.